And good morning to you. I'm Mitch McCoy here at KRK and Fox 16. We're coming up 15 minutes before 10 o'clock. We need to let you know about a breaking news story, developing story that we're following out of Southern Arkansas. We're learning of a shooting that happened on the campus of Southern Arkansas University. We have learned that a student has died on in a shooting there. You're looking at file video. We have a crew on the way to Southern Arkansas University right now. What we know is that this shooting happened earlier this morning. The university's police department responded. We know that several shots have been fired. This all happened at the Donald Reynolds Campus Community Center. And we have learned that one student has died. We're actually learning that two students were shot. Let me walk you guys through exactly what has been said on the university's Facebook page, and then we'll start setting the scene for you. So we're going to go over here to the smart board. Let's click on their Facebook page. This was an update sent by Southern Arkansas University. It says that Southern Arkansas University grieves the loss of a current student, Joshua Smith, a senior engineering physics major from Sparkman, Arkansas. At approximately 12:56 this morning, the University Police Department reported that three students living off campus came onto campus and met someone in the parking lot of the Donald W. Reynolds Campus Community Center. After a brief discussion, numerous shots were fired. Smith was pronounced dead at the scene. Another student was transported by ambulance to the Magnolia Regional Medical Center and is now in stable condition. When tragedy happens, we all must come together to reassure our students and campus community of our ongoing commitment to their safety. Now more than ever, we must find ways to safely comfort one another. We are deeply saddened by the death of Josh Smith. Our prayers surround his entire family. So just to recap, we know of two students that have been shot. One died, another is in the hospital. This all happened around 1 o'clock this morning. This is something at the Southern Arkansas University campus at their community center. Let me walk you through. This is the map here. The community center is right here. We're going to expand this so it's just near the agriculture center. Again, keep in mind, this red dot is where the shooting happened, folks. This would be just south of Highway 82 in Magnolia, Arkansas. Pull that out. So Magnolia is right here, the city of Magnolia, and then the shooting happened at their community center. Their community center right here. So right just south of the Tally Hall building. It is near the activity center. This happened, according to the university. There was multiple shots fired, two students shot, one dead. The other student now recovering at the hospital. The one thing that we are still trying to learn this morning is information about a suspect. We don't have any kind of information about if any arrests have been made. This is something that we are in constant contact at this point with the university, with officials, trying to get any kind of information that we can regarding suspects at this time. We were briefly, as anyone would do, as schools preparing to start, is trying to get an idea of when possibly classes would start here at Southern Arkansas University. And according to their website, classes at Southern Arkansas University scheduled to start today. This was something that we don't know if was originally posted online and it wasn't updated due to COVID with the governor's orders, or if in fact classes were scheduled to start today at Southern Arkansas University. That we have no information about, but we're working to get it for you. But according to their website, classes were scheduled to start today at Southern Arkansas University. So again, if you just are joining us here on Facebook Live, I'm Mitch McCoy at KRK Fox 16. We have a crew en route to Southern Arkansas University. We've learned of 2 students shot this morning. One has died. Another is in the hospital. We're learning that student is stable, is doing okay at the hospital. This happened earlier this morning, around 1 o'clock this morning at the community center. If you're familiar, it is near the Agriculture Center. Again, let's go over to our smart board technology here in the studio. The community center is right here. The Agriculture Center is here. Magnolia is just south of this area. You have Tally Hall just north. And so you have East University Street right here. It runs east and west, and you have the community center just north. We're learning that this shooting happened on campus. We've learned that several students or several people that came onto campus, and at some point there were shots fired. Let me go back to the statement that has been issued by Southern Arkansas University. This is on their Facebook page. So we know that 3 students that were living off campus came onto campus to meet someone in the parking lot. We know that after some kind of discussion, shots were fired. 2 students shot, 1 dead. We know that the student that has died is a Joshua Smith. He was a senior engineering physics major from Sparkman, Arkansas. And we know that there was a large police response on campus this morning. According to the statement, that all necessary steps have been taken to secure the campus. Classes and late registration will continue as scheduled today. So if you're just joining us, we went to the university's website saying that classes were scheduled to start today. It appears that they are going to continue with classes today. So classes were scheduled to start today. They have, and according to the university, they will continue. So that is what was just posted on a few hours ago on the university's website. So if you're just joining us here on Facebook Live, good morning. I'm Mitch McCoy. Heartbreaking news out of Southern Arkansas. We're learning of 2 students shot. 1 has died at Southern Arkansas University. We know that there was some kind of discussion on campus this morning around 1 o'clock when there was some kind of gunfire on campus. We know 2 students have been shot. 1 has died, and we know that there is an investigation now underway at Southern Arkansas University in the small town of Magnolia. If you're familiar with Magnolia, it's a very small community, and this is something that only one can assume whenever there's violence to this magnitude that happens to our schools. Everyone takes offense because it's a school. It's one of those sacred spots, right? So we do know of this active investigation happening on campus. Let me just go back to the smart board here. This is something that this is the Southern Arkansas University website. So as soon as you go to the website, you see this message. It is front, it's bold. It happened at the Reynolds Community Center parking lot. This is information about the shooting. But remember, we were talking about that calendar, looking at when did students arrive on campus, when are classes scheduled to start. So let's go to the calendar of events. This is where we found that school was scheduled to start today. This is the month of August, and I'll read it to you. I know it might be hard to see. Here's today, August 11th, classes begin. And we know that it was within the last, since August 5th, that students started returning, moving in, and these were your returning students' move-in dates. So students have been on campus for at least a few days, at least over the weekend, but we do know that these were students that were not living on campus. These were students who were living off campus, came onto campus early this morning to meet someone. At some point there was a discussion, and then several shots fired, according to the university's Facebook page here, where they were saying that numerous shots had been fired and that student had died at the scene. Another student rushed to the hospital. So we know that there is certainly an active investigation happening in Southern Arkansas as police begin to look for what happened, look for the evidence, look for the clues to what transpired here at Southern Arkansas University. So we are looking at file video here. This is video from a previous day of just the university. You see the science building not affected or impacted during this morning's incident. We're learning that this was at the community center where there was a shooting in the parking lot. And 2 students were shot. 1 has died, the other student in the hospital. But again, I want to reiterate, we don't know anything about the gunman. We don't know anything at this point about who opened fire, and those are questions that we have. We're hoping to get answers for you throughout the day. Again, we have a crew en route to Southern Arkansas University right now, trying to get information, trying to figure out what happened here on campus this morning, and try and figure out if there's any information about a suspect, so that way we can pass it along to all of you at home. We are watching some of your Facebook comments as they come in today. Of course, a lot of people that are talking about, they're tagging their friends, they're checking to make sure everyone's okay. And so that is something that there's a lot of people on campus this morning that are going to just be checking to make sure their loved ones are okay. Maybe not just physically, but emotionally as well. This is the first day, according to the university's website, that classes were scheduled to start. So one can only imagine what is going through so many people's minds as this is the first day of class at this small Southern Arkansas University, and you have this violence happen just hours before the first classes are scheduled to start for the fall semester. So a lot of conversations, I'm sure, I can only assume, happening on campus this morning in Magnolia. Amanda saying, so sad, praying for all. Sheila wishing prayers. Terry this morning saying, so sad, the waste of any life is sad. Mary saying, so sorry for the families. Natasha saying, Callis, please be careful and pay attention to your surroundings when your school starts. A lot of people sending their prayers and best wishes this morning across social media for all of the students at Southern Arkansas University. Delora saying, Southern Arkansas University is in Magnolia, just a few miles north of Louisiana state line. That is very true. We were just looking at the big board here in the studio, and we can certainly do that again as we try and get a large picture to what happened this morning in this small community. Just stand by. Okay. All right, let's go over to the big board here. We'll go over to Google Maps if you're just joining us here on our coverage here on our digital platforms. Good morning, I'm Mitch McCoy. It's coming up on 10 o'clock here at KRK and Fox 16. We are following breaking news out of Southern Arkansas, Magnolia specifically, that small community. We're learning of 2 students who've been shot. 1 is dead. In what the university is describing, numerous amounts of gunfire on campus at the community center early this morning. We know that 2 students were shot. 1 is in the hospital recovering, another has died. It happened at the community center on campus. We're learning that several students came that live off campus came onto campus and there was some kind of discussion to meet someone, and then there were several shots fired. The community center is right here where this blue dot is. Well, now it's a red dot. My apologies. Let's just zoom out here. So this is Southern Arkansas University. You see Highway 82 running directly to the north. You have Business Highway 82 directly here to the left. You have Magnolia High School just south of the university, Magnolia High School. From what we understand, or there's no information that they're even involved in this incident. So this was specifically isolated to the university about 1 o'clock this morning. Let me zoom out here. So here is the community of Magnolia. You have Waldo to the north. You have Lake Columbia here to the west. So you have Magnolia, and then as you were just seeing that Facebook comment, Louisiana is directly to the south here. So very, very close to the Louisiana line. You have Camden northeast from Magnolia here. So this is where everything is centered right here at the community center. Trying to zoom in. All right, so the community center is right here, and I'm thinking, bear with me, okay? I was trying to. No, it won't let me. Actually, let's try and do one more thing. I don't think that will work. Stand by, folks. I want to try and get to a street level view down here to give you a idea. All right. It looks like it will only let me go north. This is as far north as it will let me go. If I'm mapped out correctly here, the community center would just be north of this location right here. So this is a street level view from Southern Arkansas University. This is the area. It's just south of where this shooting happened. We'll go back. I don't think that gives us a pretty good vantage point to the community center, but that's where the community center is, where we learned that 2 students were shot this morning around 1 o'clock, and 1 student has died at Southern Arkansas University. So this is what we know right now. Again, if you're just joining us, we have a lot of questions about this investigation. The first question is what led up to this, and the second, well, you could almost say both are very, very important, is who did this? Who's the suspect? What do they look like? What can we start putting out, because we know the community will start helping in this investigation. And so we're hoping to get a lot more of those questions answered throughout the day. I encourage you to follow us across all of our social media platforms throughout the day right here on Facebook if you're watching on Facebook with us. You can also stay with us right here online, krk.com and fox16.com throughout the morning as we continue to follow this developing story. Again, 2 students shot, 1 has died on the campus of Southern Arkansas University. We learned this shooting happened earlier this morning when a group of students that live off campus came onto campus to meet someone, and there were several shots fired. Again, 1 student dead, another injured as classes begin for the first day at Southern Arkansas University. So this has been live breaking news coverage. We'll be on Facebook throughout the day as this story continues to develop. And we encourage you to download our smartphone apps. KRK Fox 16 will push updates on the story straight to your phone throughout the day, and we'll be on Facebook as news breaks throughout the day. But for now, I'm Mitch McCoy. It's just after 10 o'clock here in Little Rock.